Good morning and welcome to the 1 Million Cups podcast for the community, by the community. As we get started, I would like to introduce my guest, Robert. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Deion.
Yeah, no, awesome. It's so good to have you looking nice and spiffy. I also have to give my guy Glenn a shout out. He's the person behind the scenes. He's smiling really big right now. He just did a backflip. He's so excited. So, Robert, what's your story? How did you kind of get here? I know we'll talk about Rotary, but we would love to learn about you as a person.
I did an interview a few weeks ago talking about my business and about my mom and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But, I grew up in a farm and a ranch.
Wow.
And so, and my dad was a cowboy and my mom was a teacher. And so they just taught me about hard work and giving back and, being part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really how I got into Rotary. Was I went to a small school. I went to Doan in Crete back in the 80s. Back in the 80s.
That's funny. Well, I went to Wesleyan, so Doan is like our competitor, but we'll give you a pass today.
Yeah, that's all right. My sister went to Wesleyan, so it's
all right. We're even. Yeah,
it's on the family. And I didn't know anything about Rotary, but they asked me to come talk a little bit about an experience that I had. I had studied overseas in Copenhagen in an international studies program. And so I came to the club, and Rotary meets weekly. All Rotary clubs around the world, they meet weekly, and they have a speaker that comes in that talks about what's going on in the community, or they're doing a service project. And so I was invited by my professor at Doan, who taught history. He was an amazing professor, and he invited me to come in and talk about my experience in Copenhagen when I studied overseas. And so that's what I did. And it just so happened that Rotary had a program where, like the Fulbright, where it's called was an ambassadorial scholarship. And so I interviewed for that, and I was selected to be their ambassador. So
Not surprised.
Yeah. And so I studied in Scotland, in Edinburgh, at the university, at the law school.
Wow.
For a year. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's funny, so I've known Robert for a month or 2 months now, a little while, and you just crystallized something for me, talking about your parents and the ability to give and serve. Robert is probably one of the most genuine people I have met, and he is the epitome of a servant leader. So going back a little bit, can you explain to the audience what Rotary is? I remember months ago, I thought Rotary was like a horse club or something, but I've been to your group and a few others, and I really love it. So help people understand what Rotary is.
Rotary is really simple. It's really simple in the sense that it's just about people getting together to do good in the community. But how it started was Paul Harris was the founder. Paul Harris was an attorney. And, this is 1905 in Chicago.
Wow.
1905 in Chicago. He got his law degree in Iowa, and he moved to Chicago, and he didn't know anybody. And he just wanted to find a way, it was like he wanted to find a way to network and to do good in the community. And at that time, it was really hard. And so he got together with 3 other young professionals, and they just started meeting for coffee. And then they decided, we need to have a bigger purpose. And so they said, what should we do? And in Chicago at that time, there were no public restrooms.
Wow.
So you had to go
crazy.
So you had to go into an establishment to use the restroom. And so their first project, public service project, was they built a public restroom for people to use in Chicago. And that's how they kind of got going. And then the idea, it just went from there. And at that time, there was no LinkedIn, and there was none of the social groups that we have today. And it just took off, and the organization, they started as each a club, and it went international. So pretty soon they were in the UK, they were all over, and they went all over the world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us some context and the backstory. I didn't even know that. So it really is a organization of, or I'll say a community of people that serve.
Yes.
So Robert, super humble, super nice. Tell us about your new position. You're kind of a big deal. You won't say it, but you are.
Well, I think, it's like, it's a privilege and an honor to do what I'm going to be doing here, but I'm going to be the district governor for our Rotary District 5650, which is eastern Nebraska and western Iowa, We have 37 Rotary clubs spread throughout the eastern part of Nebraska and the
Wow.
western part of Iowa.
Wow.
Yeah. So 1,800 members, all doing service projects in their community, trying to find how they can serve their community to make a better place to live and do good. And but then there's the international part, which is amazing because you're not just I'm not just part of this district. We're part of a worldwide organization.
Absolutely.
There's 525 other district governors around the world, all doing the same thing, being there to serve their clubs and unite for that one purpose, to do service in the community and the world.
I love that. And maybe this is like a bad analogy. I said this to you last week, maybe it's 2 weeks ago now, but to me it feels like a frat almost, but without the hazing. And it's all about serving. So it's just like that global community of people.
It is. The thing is, your Rotary Club is kind of like your fraternity or your sorority. You bring in people into your group, and you get to know each other, and then you figure out what are we going to do to make a difference in the world. And so, yeah, it is that bond. It's like your brothers and sisters around the world. I have brothers and sisters around the world. I can call, I can email, I can text. If there's something that I need, like I have 500, my counterparts.
Wow.
I have 525 counterparts around the world that I can reach out to if there's anything I want to do in the world. And we're all getting together. This is, everyone can go to this, but it's the Rotary International Convention in Calgary.
Wow.
In Canada, in Alberta. It's coming up June 21st to the 25th. And so that's what I'm going to.
Can you buy my ticket?
Yeah, sure. You want to come along?
No, I'm just joking.
And the one thing I would say is interesting, in as district governor, we have a district conference. And so we have all of the Rotary clubs come in and talk about the projects that they're doing in their community for the year. And so the good that they're doing. But we have something called the House of Friendship. And in the House of Friendship, that's where all of the projects are displayed, and you can meet and learn about things that are successful in their community, and what can you do in your community to make it work.
That's amazing.
So anyway, it's a cool thing, and they do that internationally too. So at the House of Friendship in Alberta, in Calgary, we're going to have people from all over the world just showing what they're doing.
Yeah. So as you all can hear, the opportunities are really endless to partner and network with great people, but also to serve. And that's what it's all about. It's not about making money, collecting fame, or being successful. All those things are nice, but who are you bringing up the ladder with you, and how are you helping people?
That's very true. Yeah, I just, if you are interested in service and you want to give back to your community, Rotary wants you. We want you in our service clubs. And you know what? The thing is that once you start, you can't stop. I mean, I'm 30 years into it, and I can't stop. And you know what? Rotary will be with me for the rest of my life, because they took a chance on a farm kid, and it made it possible so that I could meet people from all over the world and give back to my community.
That's amazing. It sounds like Rotary has really kind of shaped you and built your runway, which is amazing.
That's right.
So for the viewers of this episode, they've heard Rotary. We've debunked the myth that it's not like a horse club or anything. So where do they go? How do they get started? I've been to your group once. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm coming back next week.
Yeah, great.
So.
We would like to have you. Well, Rotary.org is our main website for their international organization, but every district and every Rotary club has its own website, and they're in the community. So if you're interested, you can contact me for sure, but just look up Rotary and look up what Rotary club is next to you and say, hey, I'd like to come visit. Reach out to the club. They all have a phone number. They all have an email, or if you know someone, you should know someone.
For sure.
Right? And just say, I'd like to come visit.
No.
And if not, I will get you in. And I will get you in, because part of my job is membership, and I just want people to have the opportunity to change their life.
Yeah, that's amazing. So if you know someone, they can refer you or invite you, but even if you don't, just show up. People are so nice and so warm, especially in Nebraska. We have that saying, Nebraska nice.
Yeah, very much so.
It's real. So.
Yeah.
Cool. As we wind down, Robert, any final words for people that are kind of on the fence and they're looking for a community without the hazing?
Well, I would say this, that it doesn't matter what you believe, it doesn't matter where you come from, that you have a place in Rotary because it's giving back to the community. So if you believe in community, you believe in making a difference, and you want to be around positive, like-minded people that are just interested in doing good. It's service above self. That's the basic premise of Rotary, service
sure.
above self. Then that's the place for you, and we want you to be a part of it, and it will change your life.
No, I love that. Kind of reminds me of what we say, you know, this podcast is for the community, by the community. Right. It's all about serving other people. So with that, we are wrapped. Thank you so much, Robert, for a great episode and sharing more about Rotary.
And you know that's my last name too, Rapp.
Yeah, I know. No pun intended there, but that's a wrap.
And cut.